Okay, every year, the Future Today strategy group drops this absolute monster of a report on tech trends. We're talking almost 1,000 pages. It's totally essential reading, but let's be real, who has that kind of time? Well, that's where we come in. We've gone through the whole thing and boiled the 2025 report down to the 10 critical takeaways that every single leader needs to get their head around. Let's jump in. The report kicks off with this really powerful quote from CEO Amy Webb. And the message couldn't be clearer. We've crossed a line, a technological threshold. The changes we're seeing now, they're not just small steps forward. This is a fundamental shift in how everything works. We're at a point of no return, and that makes understanding what's coming next more urgent than ever. So to make sense of all this, we've broken it down into 4 simple parts. First, we'll talk about how to even think about this new reality. Then, we'll dive right into those 10 key takeaways. After that, we'll get practical and talk about turning insight into action. And finally, we'll look at what this all means for you as a leader. All right, first things first, we need a major mindset shift. In a world that's changing this fast, the old 5-year plans, they just won't cut it anymore. This is all about learning to navigate a brand new, totally unfamiliar landscape. You know, this right here is the core philosophy of the entire report, and it's so important. This is not about trying to predict the future with a crystal ball. Think of foresight as a tool for strategy. It's all about using these trends to make smarter, more robust decisions today that will set you up for whatever comes tomorrow. So, with that framework in mind, let's get to the main event. These 10 trends, this is your compass for navigating the wild complexity of the next few years. And here they are, the 10 huge forces that are reshaping our world. We're going to take a closer look at the first 4 because they are all deeply connected. You've got living intelligence, think AI and biotech becoming one. Large action models, which are AIs that can actually do stuff, not just talk about it. Robotics, finally breaking free from the factory floor. And agentic AI, which are systems that can basically set their own goals. But don't sleep on the other 6. They are just as crucial for your radar. We're talking about mind-bending metamaterials, totally unlikely alliances popping up between industries, massive markets in climate innovation, the big comeback of nuclear power, the dawn of quantum computing, and the race to commercialize cislunar space. Yep, that supercritical area between the Earth and the Moon. So let's dive into that first one. Okay, so let's get into this, starting with a concept that honestly sounds like it's been pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie: living intelligence. What we're talking about here is a deep convergence of technologies. The line between what's biological and what's digital is getting seriously blurry. Just imagine AI models hooked up to advanced biosensors, creating systems that don't just process data, but can actually adapt, evolve, and learn in the real world in ways we might not be able to fully predict or even control. And this visual just perfectly captures the idea. None of these trends are happening in their own little bubble. They're all weaving together, creating completely new ways of doing things. The ripple effects for industries like healthcare, farming, and manufacturing are going to be absolutely massive. Okay, on to our next trend, and you'll see how it builds on the last one. For the past couple of years, all the hype has been about AI that can talk. Well, now you need to get ready for AI that can do. Right, so the huge leap here is the shift from large language models, LLMs, to large action models, or LAMs. These are AIs built to carry out complex, multi-step tasks in both the digital and physical worlds. So instead of an AI that just writes you a marketing plan, picture an AI that actually goes and executes it, booking the ads, updating the website, analyzing the results, all on its own. This is the real new frontier of automation. Now, this explosion in AI capability is what's directly fueling our third big trend: robotics. Specifically, robots are finally breaking out of their cages. For decades, robots have been stuck on the assembly line, right, in this superstructured, predictable environment. But now, thanks to all these breakthroughs in AI and sensors, they're finally ready to step out into our messy, chaotic, real world. And that is going to transform everything from package delivery and logistics to elder care and how our cities run. And again, I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but it is so important to remember that none of these trends stand alone. Smarter, more adaptable robots are only possible because of more capable AI, which is all part of that bigger convergence we just talked about. These are deep, foundational shifts that are sending ripples through the entire system. Our fourth trend takes this whole idea of AI autonomy and kicks it up to a whole new level. Welcome, everyone, to the era of agentic AI.
So if large action models are about doing the tasks we give them, agentic AI is about systems that can set their own goals to achieve some bigger objective. These systems won't just be another tool in your toolbox. They're going to be collaborators, working alongside us to augment high-level human decisions in incredibly complex fields like scientific research, financial modeling, and engineering.
So, okay, knowing about all these trends is one thing, but what do you as a leader actually do about it? This next part is all about turning these huge insights into a real, concrete plan for your organization. The Future Today group recommends this really clear 3-step framework. First, you've got to evaluate your capabilities. And I'm not just talking about your tech stack. I mean your company culture, your talent, your processes. Second, map out the risks and disruptions. Really focus on how these trends can mash together to create some totally unexpected threats or opportunities. And third, you need to create action plans that are dynamic so you can pivot fast when you need to.
The report even gives you a checklist of things you should be doing, like right now. We're talking about strengthening your digital infrastructure, adopting agile governance, creating sandboxes where your teams can experiment safely, and this one's huge, requiring real tech literacy at the board level. It's all about building up your organization's muscle for a future that's just going to be in constant flux.
And that brings us to our final section. What does all this mean for you? Because this isn't just about playing defense and managing risk. This is about seizing one of the biggest opportunities for competitive advantage that we've seen in a generation.
I love this quote from the report because it totally reframes what sustainability means. It's not just about being green. In this new world, building a sustainable business means weaving these foundational trends, AI, biotech, new energy, into the very core of your strategy. It's not some side project. It is the engine for growth. It is the foundation of your competitive advantage from here on out.
So when you boil it all down, the message of the 2025 Tech Trends Report is really one of empowerment. The future isn't some passive thing that just happens to us. It's something we are actively building right now with the decisions we make every single day. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?